ISHOWSPEED has faced some of the most evil fan attacks ever to happen to any streamer in history during his recent Europe tour. From pulling out his hair with their bare hands and selling it on eBay, to pulling down his pants in public, stealing his shoes, calling him the N-word multiple times, and even kissing him on the lips out of nowhere. The most disgusting among all of them was this fan who burned his face with a cigarette. These can simply be classified as disgusting acts of love by his fans. But you know, Speed being Speed has always been an energy powerhouse. I mean, the guy's always acting like he's taken 10 cans of Red Bull before coming on stream, doing bark-offs on the streets, screaming in babies' faces, acting wild and doing backflips in restaurants, and getting into random fights with Vikings. So this Europe tour was basically his fans giving him that same level of energy, with some of the craziest moments you'll find on any stream. Imagine getting stuck in a building with thousands of people trying to get in to see you. What would you do? Exactly. I can feel you. Terrified and anxious. That's what happened with Speed in Norway. Speed was just on a trip to Norway and absolutely got mobbed by thousands of fans. Of course, Speed always pulls mass emotion everywhere he goes. I mean, he's got like millions of fans. But the Norway crowd went completely insane. They surrounded the souvenir shop he was in, blocked the entrance, and just refused to let him leave. Some of the fans even broke a glass window while trying to get into the building, and a couple of them were jumping on his car and just putting on a crazy display outside. At first, he tried getting the police to come in and help him out, but they didn't take him too seriously, telling him just to walk out the door like a normal person.
Okay, but can't you just walk out of the shop, or?
No, ma'am, because there's around 1,000 people outside. Bargaining the game, like yeah, they broke the window. There's too much people. That's why I need help to get escorted out, ma'am.
Okay, just go to the door, okay? And we'll send a police car to help you.
Okay.
Just stay with the door, okay?
I don't think one police car is enough. Maybe
Okay.
3 or 4.
But we will send a police car to you too now, so just stay with the door, okay? I have to hang up the phone.
Okay, ma'am. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
However, after some back and forth, the Norway police agreed to send a squad car to assist him, but that wasn't going to be enough at all. To make the situation worse, Speed injured his ankle earlier while he was trying to do his Ronaldo signature move, Sui, in front of the fans, so he couldn't walk out by himself, and he had to be carried by a security guard, who had no choice but to walk right through the middle of the crowd. As soon as he stepped out the shop, the fans descended on him, literally attacking him like it was a riot or something. I mean, we all know Speed's fans are wild, but this was just wrong in humanity. When I was scrolling through Twitter, I was shocked to see this post. Some dude was pulling out his hair with their hands, and another person threw piss at him, and another dude literally jumped from the car onto his body like it was WWE. All while Speed was screaming and telling them to stop. Obviously, these guys have no sense for boundaries and personal space, and I know they're fans and they love him, but you just can't treat people like this just because they're famous. The craziest part is that the hair that got ripped out was later listed on eBay for $1,600, although the post has since been debunked as fake. After he got out safe, Speed made a post on Twitter saying, "Never coming to Norway again," and he also talked about it after coming back on stream.
But it's like I didn't have no sense of like fucking safety, risk, respect, bro. Like, bro, I've been to every country and it's been lit, turned, crowds, but that was just pure. It was unhuman, bro.
Yeah, it was insanely.
It was just, bro. It was just unhuman, bro. And that's just pure point what it is, bro.
But that wasn't even the wildest thing that happened during the Netherlands stream. I mean, this guy decided to try the tallest swing in Amsterdam, known as Adam Lookout, which is like 328 feet tall. While swinging so high in the sky, one of his shoes began to slip out, and since he couldn't reach it with his hands, Speed tried swinging it onto his seat. Unfortunately, the shoe ended up falling to the ground, where another crowd was gathering. As the shoe fell down, Speed became upset a little, since he now had to walk barefooted. However, a lot of people believe this whole thing was him trying to farm clips, with comments like, "If you watch closely, you can see that he's purposely trying to get the shoe off his feet. He's clearly just clip farming." The fan who picked up the shoe would later hop on TikTok live to show it off, and Speed joined the live, asking the guy to drop his location so that they can meet up and get his shoe back.
No, text me on Instagram where you at, and I will come to you. Don't say it on TikTok live, stop being federal.
But after the dude dropped the location on the live with thousands of people watching, Speed asked him to drop a text on Instagram so they could meet up in a more private location. But after watching all the drama on Speed's stream, a young fan would later show up to give Speed some brand new shoes. But even after he got down from the car, the crowd swarmed him again, and he had to be rescued by police officers, who took him off the location by boat. But days before that, Speed was in Germany on June 16, 2024, and while walking through Nürburgring, when a dog started barking at him, he barked back.
What kind of car is this, baby?
It was hilarious. Like, when I was watching that stream, I was like, what kind of energy does Speed have? The barking got so intense that Speed got on the floor and was so loud that the dog ran away. I mean, this shouldn't be shocking to anyone. After all, Speed literally barks at anything and anyone. You probably heard about how the Germans are nice people and how you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but it has been rumored that Speed was insulted by a German man while he was checking out a vintage car he wanted to buy. The way the car owner treated Speed was like he thought he couldn't afford a car that expensive, and was probably judging him based on his looks. So what happened was the guy had this $75,000 vintage car on display, and Speed was showing interest in the car, trying to ask questions and all, but the guy just wasn't having it.
I can buy this?
If you can.
You selling it?
You read?
How many miles on it? And it's going for 75,000, right? Yeah?
As Speed was just trying to have a conversation, he appeared genuinely uninterested and snobbish. I mean, why would you disrespect bro like that? He literally has a Lamborghini at home. He probably thinks Speed can't afford the car because of how he looks, which is pretty racist to be honest. The clip of that awkward conversation would eventually end up on Twitter, receiving comments like, bro is at the Nürburgring, wearing a Nürburgring Alpine Stars racing suit, means that he was just driving on the track, which is very expensive to do so. The only explanation for this man not believing that Speed has the money is racist. However, some people in the comments were also defending the car salesman, like this guy, James Patrick, who said, the seller doesn't know who Speed is. He just sees a guy who keeps smirking and acting like a wise guy punk. Plus, the German sees it all being filmed. He naturally assumes the buyer is unserious and wasting his time. And Abbasigi, who said, the man has sold too many cars to know that real buyers don't ask too many questions. Speed is just creating content. But if you thought that Germany was the only place where Speed experienced some sort of racism, you'd be dead wrong. During his Bulgaria stream on July 11th, Speed asked the crowd of fans on how to say book in Bulgarian, but instead of answering, they all started chanting the N-word.
What? Nick! Nah, this shit crazy, bro.
But then again, this wasn't even the wildest thing that happened during the Bulgaria trip, because later that stream, Speed was approached on the street by a man who claimed he was his biggest fan. But after stepping out of his car to shake Speed's hand, the man leaned in and planted a kiss on his lips. And Speed looked weirded out.
What the f*** that? You just hey!
Honestly, I would be too if a random stranger just pulled up and kissed me. One Twitter user would later explain the incident, saying, actually in Bulgaria, kisses on the cheek are a common greeting, but Speed turned in an unfortunate time, which means the fan wasn't exactly trying to smooch him. He also tried walking on hot coal later in the stream, but his feet got burned and he jumped into the arms of one of the men present. Everyone couldn't stop laughing at him at this point, even his bodyguard. But if you thought that the Bulgarian fan who licked his hand was disgusting, then you should see what happened when he pulled up for a meet and greet in Spain. While he was surrounded by dozens of fans, someone just casually burnt his face with a cigarette. I mean, why would you even do something like that? That's plain evil. I get that these guys love him and all, but fans take it too far sometimes. I felt bad for him while watching the stream, to be honest, and you could see that he was really pissed as well. The more I watched, the more I just felt bad for him, because forget that he's famous, he's human too, and people should respect that. At John Hoskinsworth commented saying, build a fan base full of idiots and they will do idiotic things when you get around them. At Reality YT also commented saying, I know ISHOWSPEED is kinda wild, but the level of abuse I've seen him getting is insane. It's like, now it's cool to assault someone. And Damari9 said, it's cause bro doesn't get out of character enough. He should be slapping the F out of these MFers. When things like this happen, F the Speed persona at a certain point so they know that Speed ain't playing. His Poland stream was also quite wild. Starting off with Speed getting into a barking competition with a TikTok wizard gnome on the streets. while surrounded by hundreds of fans, as always. Later in the stream, Speed met a fan on the streets who initially claimed he wanted a high five from Speed, but he went so far and did this disgusting act. As he went in for the high five, the fan licked his bare hands and ran away. You could see his face freeze in shock as he tried to process what just happened, before he started running after the man and screaming for him to stop. But even though Speed was sprinting like Usain Bolt, the fan later escaped. However, it was in Switzerland that Speed finally met a woman who matched his energy. Right at the beginning of the stream, Speed approached this old woman walking on the streets and asked if he can jump in the water. But then he figured out that the woman probably didn't speak English. So, like the typical Speed, he started barking at her. But then the woman barked back, making some cat sounds and basically just going crazy with Speed. After more than a minute of fooling around, the two started laughing before Speed moved on to mess with other people. I mean, it's Speed, that's just his vibe, but not everybody flows with that kind of energy. Like during his stream in Hungary on July 16th, when a random woman threw him middle fingers for no reason while he was in a restaurant. I mean, Speed was just walking around, bothering nobody, and then this Karen thought it would be a good idea to flip the bird at him. Of course, Speed wasn't just going to let this slide.
No, she put a middle finger up to me. Why though?
And he stood his ground and started pressing her.
I tried to have dinner.
Before another dude on the table started defending her.
She put the middle finger to me for no reason.
But the part that stuck with me the most during this Europe tour was how his bodyguards were literally nowhere to be found many times when Speed was getting mobbed by his fans. I mean, I get it that they do their job really well sometimes, maybe even a little too well.
What the fuck?
I was also scrolling through Twitter the other day when I saw a tweet by Andrew Tate where he was calling Speed out for making a baby cry on stream. I don't like to comment on petty internet drama, but did ISHOWSPEED really just scare a man's baby on purpose? Screamed in a baby's face, then got his big guards to intimidate the father? Bro, these clowns are out of control. Disgusting. But after watching the video, I realized Tate was just blowing the whole thing out of proportion. I mean, Speed started out by playing the English or Spanish trend on the baby.
I got a question for you. English or Spanish?
And after the baby moved, Speed screamed, and the baby started crying. But we all know that that's just the way Speed is, and he's always screaming on stream. So it wasn't like he was trying to hurt the baby or something. It was just an innocent joke that didn't go well. You can also clearly see Speed apologizing and saying like a dozen sorries to the baby and the father.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And even when his bodyguard and friends tried to intervene, he clearly told them not to because he admitted he was wrong. And it wasn't like he hurt the baby, so I don't see why Andrew was so triggered. The comment section was also pissing me off, to be honest, because although some people were trying to defend Speed, like the Sneeko Updates account that tweeted, I don't think Speed was trying to scare the baby by screaming. He's just very energetic on stream. And the @FoxyBear who said, it was obviously an accident. You see how apologetic Speed is. Even when his friends were defending him, he said, no, it's my fault. Others were still trying to make this into a big issue. I don't get why people are mad, to be honest, but hey, it's Twitter, and everybody is always angry on Twitter. But for the most part of this tour, they have been pretty much absent whenever Speed needed real protection. Like, why did they think that it was a good idea to carry Speed through the mob in Norway, or leave him alone in the middle of a crowd where he was almost getting violated? But at least Speed didn't get hurt, and he's still touring and streaming, doing wild stuff, and just having the time of his life.